and just a second. Yep. So I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. So till yesterday, what we did was we completed the UI and UI of both the Eclipse and the web UI. Okay, we understood what exactly configuration in Eclipse means, and now in the web UI also we have explored all the features. Now let me quickly complete one portion of PPT. Which is the tenant management node and worker node. Okay. Again, okay. Tenant management node, worker node. It's kind of the architecture of your HCI. Okay. Uh, this is very vital portion because from here you will understand why we are getting 99% of uptime with HCI, and means there is no downtime. There is almost negligible downtime for the HCI tenant. Okay. So let's complete this quickly. Okay. So your HANA Cloud integration, it resides in between all your on-premises or your cloud solutions, which is there. Like, see, you have and SFTP servers, or means any third-party servers. So this type of applications. Okay, so HCI helps share data across a multitude of different systems, talking various protocols and help integration process that spans across various systems. Okay, so to achieve this type of functionality where
Hey Sanat, we can't hear you.
Hello, Sanath, are you there? Your voice is not audible to me. Hello, hello.
Hey Sanat, are you there? Hey, Arvind, can you hear him?
I'm not able to
Yes.
hear someone.
Let me call. Let me call Bharat once. He will inform Sanatna.
Okay.
And down Bharat. Sometimes Shankar joined today? Not joined.
Hey, Arvind, I'm there.
There. So silent today.
No, no, no.
So I was a tenant management node. Okay. Uh, was I audible till this screen? Hello.
Yes.
So back to this one. So
No, no, no. You just started. We lost your voice.
this screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me quickly cover. So this is your. Just someone please keep the mic open so that I hear something. Else I'm just speaking. Okay. So your HANA Cloud integration, okay, it shares data across multitude of different systems talking to various protocols and help integration process that spans across various systems. So this, in other words, what it does is it is residing in between all the third party and the SAP proprietary solutions available and uh, communicate data with them. Okay, so you have the third party cloud, you have the third party cloud, you have the SAP cloud, you have the SFTP, you have the SAP on-premises ERP, or you have the third party on-premises ERP, or you have the SFTP server. So all these things will be communicating directly to your HCI for the sake of integration. Okay, but SAP claims that they will be with HCI, uh, they will be achieving 99 0.0% of downtime or 0.01% of downtime. So to achieve that type of what we say, that type of uptime or that type of feature, SAP given has created an architecture called tenant management node and worker node concept. Okay, so or the node concept of your HCI, and this is not only specific to your HANA cloud integration. This is also seen for your other SAP cloud solutions also. Okay. So what are clouds? What are nodes? Uh, your tenant management node, it is subdivided in two parts called tenant management node and worker node. Okay. So day before yesterday when I was configuring or when I was getting the URL of my HCI through HANA Cloud Cockpit, I showed there was um, there were two links called tenant management node and worker node, TMN and iFlag. So from TMN, I got the URL of my HCI and I added the user to the HCI tenant. Okay, I never went to the worker node. It is left for this part. So tenant management node is kind of your storage space in your computer. So when I say storage space, when you are taking a laptop or a PC, it is subdivided into two parts: your RAM, your processor, and your hard disk. Means RAM and processor I'm taking as a one, and your hard disk. The same thing is there in your HCI also. Your tenant management node work as your hard disk where you keep your data ready, data saved of your uh, let me of your artifacts, of your users, of your authorizations, of your which worker node it is connected to. Okay, so all these things are saved on your tenant management node. Okay, and worker node is kind of integration engine or your RAM and processor as a whole, which processes the runtime messages when when any interface runs or anything runs on your HCI, your worker node comes into picture. Okay, so let me show you from here. So under Java application, I showed you two things. One was tenant management node, and this is IFL map. Okay, so this is kind of my worker node attached to that this tenant management node. Okay, so this is my runtime URL. Okay, what runtime URL means? When I have deployed my artifacts to cloud, this URL will come into picture. Okay, and the tenant management URL I already showed you. Okay, the TMN. So this IP space, the one which we are using. Okay. So we will see how this uh, worker node comes into picture while deploying the artifacts to cloud. Okay. So as of now, this thing is these nodes are these two nodes have their specific task. One node has task to save the artifact of all save the artifact like your objects, like your value mapping, your like security artifacts. All those things are saved on your terminal node, and everything processing is done on your worker node. So every time a message comes to your HCI, the respective data of that interface. Let's say the data is going from my ECC to success factor. So all the objects which are present related to those interface will be taken from tenant management node, will be loaded on the worker node. The processing of that message will be done and the cache should be cleared. Okay. So it is the same concept as your PC. If you are running any file, so that file is loaded on your RAM, the processing is done, and once the processing is done of that file, the cache is cleared. Okay. So same thing to your HCI also. So due to this type of architecture of HCI, we are able to achieve high uptime and very minimal downtime of HCI. Okay, high availability. Okay, so let's say at any instance your one worker nodes break down. Okay, or it's not working, or by some issue the processing is not done on the that worker node. So what SAP will do is it will automatically take any other available worker node in its server and it will attach to my tenant management. Okay, this feature is done by SAP. It is not us who will do this type of configuration, or we can control that how many worker nodes are attached to it, or if my failover server is changed to this to that. It is not. It's not in our hand. It has to be taken care by SAP itself. Okay. But in the back end, it happens like if, let's say, at one instance, my one worker node is not working. It has failed. So in the failover process, it will automatically bring up another worker node which is free at that instance. Okay, and will it will take that worker node and it will attach that to my tenant management node. So at this SAP end, SAPN will be, means they have the separate logic to use their worker nodes efficiently. Okay, we are not aware what that logic is and how they perform this switching between the worker node from tenant management or nodes of different client. But it is said that means they have multiple worker nodes which are available at some instance. It can attach switch between the worker nodes to different client as per needed. Okay, so this is how we achieve the highest uptime and very minimal downtime at any instance. So that is not the case in our PI. So if one server is down and we don't have any failover server, then our processing is stopped or our production system is down for some period of for some period. But that is not the case in HCI. Okay, so this is called high availability. Now other thing is also achievable called the high scalability. So let's say we have opted for a bigger, we have subscribed for a larger HCI with more number of CPU cores and RAM. So in that case, let's say at some instance, there is a high load which is being processed by HCI, and that is not processable, or the processing of one node cannot sustain that type of load. So what SAP will do, it will attach multiple nodes to that same tenant management node, multiple worker node to that same tenant management node, and it will divide the task, the same processing of that task in the between these multiple worker nodes. Again, the breakage of the message and bundling back together, it is not our headache. It is done by SAP itself. They have their own separate logic to divide the message, uh, making them process through the worker node and then again bundling up at the receiver end. So that is not our headache. Okay, but SAP can attach multiple worker node to one tenant management node. Okay, so this is how you can achieve high scalability also with your worker tenant management and worker node concept. Okay, so this is happening in the background of your HCI. Okay, this is not directly visible to us, or we cannot view what is happening in the background, but this is the architecture of your HCI. Okay, so any queries related to this, means if anybody asks you that how do we achieve high scalability, why HCI, why SAP should, your client should go with the HCI. So you can say that we have high availability and high scalability of that software, so that if in there is in case of failover, then there is one more node which can be attached, or if there is heavy load which is coming to the if there is heavy message which has to be flowed, then also it can be done through the it can be scaled by attaching other worker node to your tenant management node, and processing would be smooth. So this is kind of a pro for HANA Cloud integration. Okay. So any questions till now for this?
Sanat, can you give an example for this one? I'm a bit not clear.
As an example means, see, for which one? Scalability or availability?
Worker node itself. Both.
Okay, so see, let me go to the worker node of my Eclipse. Just a second, I am unsharing my screen. Just a second. Okay, I have shared my screen again. Okay. For those who are not able to see my screen, just refresh their system, refresh their screen. So I'm just opening my Eclipse. Okay. So at the left hand side, left hand corner, I told you that I have configured my node, my HCI node. Okay. HCI details, the HCI tenant details, and my user ID password. And by that, automatically I get this node explorer. Okay, this is my main node, the HCI tenant. Okay, this is my tenant management node, TM, and this is my worker node, which is attached to this tenant management node. Okay, so if I click to this one, okay, if I click to this one, expand this. So you will find this is my tenant management node. Okay, it says the profile TMN.
Sanat, are you sharing screen? Can't see. You can't see your screen.
Others can see, please.
No,
Yeah, I'm
Sanat,
able
even
to see.
I'm not able to see.
So who is not able to see? So just click F5 on their browser. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Hello, Read. Yes, okay. Visible now. So when you click on this Explorer and you have these two options called tenant management node and worker node at the left hand corner. Okay, you will see some general details under the property called account ID. This is the account ID against which I have the company has raised my HCI tenant. Okay, this is the application which the HCI, which the SAP gave us to the SAP gave us a unique number of the tenant. So P0341, they have given us this tenant for our HCI. Okay. Node type, it's tenant management, profile TMN, the URL, again, this is the URL of my HCI tenant, version, on which version this tenant is, to 2.27.11. Okay. The virtual machine name. Virtual machine is exactly the virtual machine at the SAP end, which on which our HCI is working. So this is the virtual machine name. Okay. This is live for how many days? It is live today. It's live in my browser, in my Eclipse from 8:32. It's just a live data. Okay, so how much CPU are we using for this tenant? So we are using only 0.49% of the CPU we are using. And memory used, the memory which was allocated to us in the tenant management node, or the storage space they have provided, we have consumed 22% of that. Okay, so still 78% is left, or 71%, 77% is left. Okay, so this is the a property of our tenant management node. Okay, this is the property of our worker node, or the IFL map node. Okay, it will have the same information, kind of same information. Okay, but this annotes that this is attached to the tenant management node. This one is attached to this tenant management node. Okay, this worker node is attached to this tenant management node. There would be times where this node would fail. Okay, or this processor might fail. So SAP will automatically bring up another worker node or another processor and will attach to this tenant management node. Okay, so in real life scenario, means we won't be directly viewing the things in our eyes that okay, the worker node has failed and they have attached the other worker node, or um, there is a failover process which is happening in the background. Those everything is happening in the background. We are not viewing, or we cannot configure this settings that in case of failover we want this worker node removed and other worker node should be attached. But this mechanism or this architecture is handled by SAP themselves. Okay, but means the scalability part, for that your SAP will be relying on the subscription which you have taken. So let's say you have taken the highest subscription package, and in that you have the highest number of processors and higher number of uh, uh, RAM available. So SAP will add more number of nodes to your tenant management node. Your worker tenant management node, it will attach more number of worker nodes. But if you have gone for the base package, the standard package and base package of your HCI, and you have high message which needs to be flown through your HCI. So in that case, SAP won't attach more worker node, and it will allow it to get processed through that same worker node slowly, because you haven't paid for that speed. Okay, it's just like your internet speed. If you have paid for higher speed, then your internet will work fast. Okay, but if you do not, it will work slow. So it's kind of uh, if there is a high message flow, high load of message which is getting flown through your HCI in your highest package, then more number of worker nodes can be added. And it's not the case at the time of buying only, purchasing that software only, we can specify our package. We can change it at any point of time. If we think that our message flow is increasing, the number of interfaces are increasing in your HCI, so you can opt for the premium package of your HCA. So there is no restriction at any point of time for the package subscription. Okay. So this is how we achieve high availability and high scalability. Okay. So this is about it for your architecture of your HCI till now. Okay. Is it understandable, Ajit? Someone asked me, Ajit, or asked me the question.
Yeah, this is Sai Raman. Clear. Thanks.
Every
Now,
user will get a different tenant, or it based on a project will get a tenant.
yes, sir. So every project will have one tenant. Okay. So not project, every customer has their own tenant. Uh, it might be possible that different projects are sharing that same tenant because generally in a big customer landscape you will be using that same HCI for different projects might be possible or for one customer you have one tenant, okay, one specific tenant.
Okay.
Okay. Your customer, if customer is rich, you can buy multiple tenants also. So it's all depend. Uh, Now let's do yeah, tell me.
If you are connecting from out of your project network or something, so this is cloud based, so the tenant will work in any system if you connect, or how it going to be.
Yes, sir. So tenant is, we can connect to our HCI tenant from anywhere in the world. We just need the internet connection.
Okay.
Okay. So kind of little bit less security. You can think of it as little bit less security in terms of uh, when you think from the perspective of your customer because they think that everything should be in their premises in their network and this software is over internet so our data won't be exposed or compromised, but that is not the case. When processing the message it is going with the SL type of connection, so there is no compromise in the security or the message level. Okay, so I'm going back to my design screen. Yesterday I showed you the design screen. I will be creating one flow from scratch in the design of my HCL. Okay. So let's first of all create a package. Okay. So yesterday I told you that we can copy a package and we can view those packages here. But what if that package is not serving us and we have to create our own scenarios? So let's create a scenario. First of all, a package. Just click on create. There's an option called import also. Okay, so this is the time when you have downloaded already or some third party have provided the packages to you. So you can just directly click on import, provide the path where you have downloaded that already, and that is done. So my again going with my nomenclature of my name. Okay. Let me the technical name and the name it would be taken would be identical. Okay. Mm, uh, just a second, give the name. Uh, Version let's say 1.1.0. Now I don't have any vendor as of now for this, so just keep it as it is. Uh, you can give an overview description. Okay, so you can take the same description.
What is vendor? So usually you will be giving.
Vendor is means whom are you connecting to? The detail name of the uh, system which you are connecting to. But it's not mandatory. Okay, it's not mandatory to say that this is the system which is connected to, or this is the main system which will be sending and receiving the data. Okay, so in our case, it's not required.
Okay.
Uh, Overview again, the description, whatever the description you want, this is connected to this system, this has this prerequisite, something like that. Okay. In artifacts you provide the, uh, you create the package iflows. So let me save it first. Okay. Once I've saved it, the option, this added option is activated. Now, based on the type of integration you have to create, you can say data integration. This is purely for the data services. The integration flow are the ones which we are dealing in, the process integration part. And value mapping, it is again where you save the values which you need to change in the later cases. You don't need to hard code them in your HCI. So you create a value mapping. We will understand value mapping in later classes. Okay. So click on integration flow. Okay. And give some name, test dot demo dot one. Does not allow the replication. Okay. Give some again a description about this interface, not about the package which we give. Test interface. Okay. Give the sender name and receiver name both. So I will say sender as sender, receiver as receiver. Just click on OK. Okay. So we'll see one iFlow is automatically created. The version they have given is 1.0.0. So each time you update this, the version would be automatically updated by SAP itself. Okay. Click on this test.demo.4. It will take you to a editor of your web UI editor where you can change, create or modify your iFlow. So they have given you one basic iFlow where you have one sender, your integration process or your HCI where the data has been received and your receiver. Okay. So this is a standard iFlow. Okay. Nothing is connected to anyone. Sender is alone, receiver is alone.